Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Barrett. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video in the What a Juice channel, and welcome back to episode number 2 of our New York Giants Changing History rebuild here on Madden 24 on the PC. We are back on the 2015 mod. We are back in season 2 of the rebuild with the New York Giants, and we are trying to make this Giants team have a completely different history from what they've had in the past, or in the current timeline. We are on a different alternate timeline, alternate universe, and we're trying to make this Giants team a dynasty. Can we do it? I feel like we can. We had a pretty solid first season, and especially a first solid draft. We brought in not only Jalen Ramsey, but Joey Bosa as well in the first round. And this season, we have 2 first-round picks as well. Now, we do have the Eagles' first-round picks, so we'll have to see if the Eagles are going to be good or not. Last season, they weren't amazing, but I think they did end up making the playoffs. I'm not 100% sure if they did. They were pretty close if they didn't. But we have their first-round pick this year, so we do have 2 first-round picks again this season, and it's the 2017 draft. And you guys know what that means. Patrick Mahomes is going to be in this draft class. Is that going to be our guy? We're going to look to maybe grab him. We're going to have to see how good we are and how good the Eagles are, so we can kind of adjust from there and see if we need to trade up, if we need to trade down, and we can maybe get him later. I don't know. We'll have to figure it all out. But let's get into the episode. Let's not wait any more time. 1 episode, or 1 season per episode as we do it in these kind of series. I hope you guys are excited. If you want to see more, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, and let's go start season number 2 and change the Giants' history. We have made it to the 2016 regular season. Season number 2 is here. I feel pretty confident with the way that this season has, or with the way that this rebuild has started. I like the team. We obviously have young Odell Beckham Jr., who I feel very confident in. We have a young Eric Flowers, who I feel pretty confident in, with him being an X factor. We have Tyreek Hill, who we drafted. We have Willie Snead, who we signed in free agency, who's super young. But it's this man right here, Eli Manning, who I don't know how long we're going to have with him. He's 35 years old. That's why I'm thinking we might need to draft his replacement in this draft. But our cornerstones, I'm hoping, of this franchise are going to be Joey Bosa, rookie from the Ohio State University. I'm hoping that one of these 2 guys wins Defensive Rookie of the Year, whether it's Joey Bosa or whether it's this man right here, Jalen Ramsey. Ooh, baby, I am so happy that we got him. Best player in the entire class, Jalen Ramsey, at least overall-wise. So I'm excited about that. The rest of the team is a little interesting. There's still a lot to be done. We're only in season 2, remember. We've only had 1 full off season. We do have Matt Ioannidis, who we brought in as well. Robert Kimdiche, who we also drafted. He's going to get the start alongside Jonathan Hankins. We drafted Matt Judon. So there's a lot to be excited about. We also have Devondre Campbell as well, and Shaq Barrett. But there is a lot to be excited about, but there's also a lot to be done still. We're not anywhere near a playoff team, I wouldn't think, unless we sneak in because, I don't know, the offense has a good season or something. I don't know. But this is why we're all here. The draft class 2017 is about to be imported, and it has been. There it is, Myles Garrett. If we could pair alongside Joey Bosa with Myles Garrett, oh baby. But here it is. I'm putting him on the list right away. Patrick Mahomes could be our guy. I'll also add Deshaun Watson, just because it's a possibility that we don't get our guy, our main target, Patrick Mahomes, and we might have to go and get Deshaun. As for the running backs, I'll put all of these guys on here because we're in the market for a running back. And any one of these guys would be a good one. Even Kareem Hunt would be a fine running back to have. Aaron Jones is a good running back to have. A bunch of these guys would be amazing to have on the team. As for receivers, this was not really the greatest of receiver classes, but there are some steals down the board, like a Cooper Kupp, like a Juju, like a Chris Godwin, maybe even a Kenny Golladay, you could say. is a steal. Kendrick Bourne's down here. I don't think that there's going to be anybody else. I do like Noah Brown, but I don't think there's going to be... He's not going to be a high overall. Trey Griffey, fun fact. Trey Griffey is Ken Griffey Jr.'s kid, if you didn't know. Tim Patrick's down here as well. I'll put him on the board. Solid wide receiver. Then we've got some interesting tight end options. We've got O.J. Howard, Evan Ingram, David Njoku, who I do think we might need to go after because I do like David Njoku. Jared Everett, Jonnu Smith, George Kittle's down the board. I mean, there's some options at tight end. We could definitely bring in a tight end to help whoever the quarterback may be. Left tackle, you got Garrett Bowles, you got Ryan Ramczyk, you got not really a whole lot else. Left guard, Deion Dawkins, maybe even a Dan Freeney, you could say, but there's not a whole lot at left guard either. Center, the center class is not good, okay, noted. I mean, we could go Ethan Pocic, I guess, to put him on the list, but we'll probably not draft him. Right guards, you've got Taylor Moton, who we could move over to tackle if we need to, but there's nothing else really available there. And then the right tackle class is not a whole lot. So the offensive line class in general is just not very deep in this class, or not very good at all. We'll have to keep that in mind as we move forward. Left ends, you got Tack McKinley we could go after. You got Dietrich Wise, who could be a solid player for us. These are all backup plans if we can't end up getting Myles Garrett. We missed out on Aaron Donald because we didn't start in the 2014 draft. So maybe we get the next dominant defensive lineman, which is Myles Garrett. Jonathan Allen's also a really solid player, one of the best run-stopping defensive ends or defensive players in all of football in real life. Trey Hendrickson, Carl Lawson. We got some options, some backup plans, but obviously Myles Garrett is the go-to, the number one. Dalvin Tomlinson, Larry Ogunjobi at D-tackle. Obviously, we could put Jonathan Allen at D-tackle as well, since that's what he plays. Devon Godchaux, Grover Stewart. The defensive stuff is looking a little bit more tasty than the offensive stuff. Hassan Reddick. Who else? Alex Anzalone maybe even as a real stretch down the board. Matt Milano could be a value pickup. Middle linebackers, you got Gerard Davis, Reuben Foster, Raekwon McMillan, Jayon Brown. I like some of these options. I do. Some of them could be falling to us. And then obviously you've got TJ Watt, one of the real studs of this class alongside Myles Garrett. If we could somehow come away with Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, and a quarterback, it would be the greatest draft of all time. We'll put Zach Cunningham on the list. We'll put Ryan Anderson on the list. Anybody else? Not really. Corners, you got Lattimore, Humphrey, Adoree Jackson, Tre'Davious White, Garyon Conley. A couple other ones. Chobi Awuzie is a solid one. Ahkello Witherspoon. Shaq Griffin, Rasul Douglas even. Desmond King down the board. I mean, he's a day 3 projection. There's a lot of value at the cornerback spot. That is for sure. Lots of value. Now, when you get to the undrafted guys, not so much. But the people that should be drafted, there's some good value. Malik Hooker, Budda Baker. As far as free safeties, Marcus May, Marcus Williams, John Johnson. They don't have the third on here, but John Johnson the third. Who else? Chuck Clark, maybe. Fish Smithson, one of the best names of all time. Jamal Adams, Jabril Peppers at strong safety. Obi Melifonwu, Eddie Jackson. Who else? Anybody else? Nope, not really. And then kickers, Harrison Butker I'll put on there just because. Oh, Younghoe Koo I'll put on there for sure. And then punters, Cameron Johnston, just because I like Cameron Johnston. And he's a Buckeye. So we've got our list. Now, we will obviously go through this season and scout the guys and learn more about them. But if we could come away with Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, and a quarter, and maybe a running back too. There's a lot of good running back value, like Alvin Kamara and Aaron Jones probably. Because if we're going to get Myles Garrett and TJ Watt, we're not going to be able to get like a Christian McCaffrey guy. But if we could come away with those two guys and a quarterback, one of these two quarterbacks, I'd say that's the greatest draft we've ever had. But it's all up to what's going to happen this season in terms of simulation. I have no idea how we're going to simulate. I don't know if we're going to simulate well. We have cornerback and receiver as our number one needs. Do I want to keep that? Because really, we're only looking at these two guys at quarterback, so I don't think we need to go for a quarterback. We might need to throw a running back in there, a running back scout, because receivers, I don't know. I'm not sure what the move is for our scout. It might be defensive end, since that could be a big pickup for us, or maybe linebacker, or I guess defensive back. I mean, there's so many different options. It could be defensive back. It could be running back. It could be defensive end. I don't know. Let's fire, because we know we're not going to need this scout, so we'll fire her, and we'll go to the three-bar scout, or the 3-star scouts. Corner and middle linebacker is interesting. Middle linebacker and running back I like. Defensive line and defensive end and outside linebacker I also like. That could be the one right there. We don't need anything with quarterbacks. Running back offensive tackle, no. Running back interior line. I think I like the one, where was it at? Defensive end outside linebacker. We'll go with that one. We have a lot of needs, and Calvin Heath will be our national scout for defensive end and outside linebacker, and then we'll choose one of those two positions to use as our national focus. But we know what the team looks like. I don't know how we're going to simulate. I would think not too great, but I've been surprised before. I'm going to simulate to the mid-season mark. I'm going to do all that stuff. I will catch you guys at the end of season 1. Actually, you know what? I'll catch you guys back up at week 11 when I do my focus scouting, so that we can get started there and we can go a little bit more in depth. But I'll bring you guys back in soon so you guys can see the progress we've made and how we're doing in the season, and also to keep track of how the Eagles are doing, because that's going to be pretty important. But I'll catch you guys back up when I get to either week 8 or week 11. I haven't decided yet. Okay, so we're at the mid-season mark, week 8. I decided to pull you guys back in there. And a little bit of an update. We are 2-5. So we're on track for a decent draft pick. But the Eagles, crucially, are 4-3 and firmly, at least at the halfway point, firmly in contention for the division win. So we're going to have to keep that in mind as we simulate a little bit further. I might even trade the Eagles pick to maybe get another pick that is a little bit more valuable. We'll have to see what we do. But as of right now, as of mock draft number 2, we pick at number 8, and then we pick all the way down here at pick number 25. That is not going to really work too well if we want to come away with Myles Garrett and TJ Watt and Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson. So we're going to have to really figure out what we want to do. Luckily for us, TJ Watt is not projected to go, at least right now, in the top of the draft in the first round. I don't see his name on here. Yeah, so Deshaun Watson, funny enough, projected to go right now to the Texans. But I do not see TJ Watt's name in here. So that's good for us. We can keep that in mind. But I might be on the lookout for an Eagles draft pick trade, maybe to the Cowboys or the Niners, because they're both pretty darn bad. So as far as negotiations go, we have a decent amount of money and a couple of guys that we need to make a decision on. One being a fullback in Henry Hanowski. Another being a decision on not DeMontre Moore, but on Marshall Newhouse and John Hankins. I do want to bring back John Hankins, and we have the money to do, and he wants to come back. So, at least he somewhat wants to come back. So we'll offer him that, and John Hankins is returning. But Marshall Newhouse, it would be nice to have depth on the offensive line, so I do like that. I don't know if he's going to accept this, though. We'll offer it to him and see what he says. He's coming back. Okay, so we got those two guys back. That's the two crucial guys that we wanted to bring back, wanted to make sure that we brought back. Anybody else? I mean, we could just go with Nikita Whitlock, because fullbacks don't really matter. I know he's a superstar, but does that really matter that much? Probably not. Nikita Whitlock does come back, so we have a fullback now. We can let Henry Hanowski just walk, I guess. He didn't want to even be here anyway. John Beeson, I think we're going to let walk as well. So that's going to be all the guys that we signed for this season. And now we have to choose our national focus. So the strengths of the class are corner, receiver, and halfback. That's not a big deal because that's not really what... I mean, we're in the market for all of those, but not really in this particular draft. We're looking at probably defensive ends. We could go outside linebacker and then get TJ Watt, but I feel like we know how good TJ Watt's going to be. Or maybe we go outside linebacker. I think I'm going to go outside linebacker. We're going to make that our focus. Make that our focus. Because we know that Myles Garrett's going to be good. That's not a problem. Like, we're not concerned if Myles Garrett's going to be good or not. But we need to know about our left outside linebackers and our right outside linebackers. Because if somehow we don't get TJ Watt, we need to know for sure how good Zach Cunningham is, how good Ryan Anderson is, how good Hassan Reddick is, or any of these guys. So I like that more because we know that Myles Garrett's going to be good. We don't have to worry about that. So that is our Week 8 all done. Oh, did I show you mock draft? Yeah, I showed you mock draft number 2. We'll continue simulating. We'll simulate a few more weeks. We'll get to Week 11. We'll do all that stuff, and we'll have to make our decision if we want to trade the Eagles pick or not. I think that's going to be where I'm leaning, but I'm not 100% sure. We are obviously losing a bunch of games, which is good for us because that means we're going to have a top 5 pick, a top 3 pick even. But the Cowboys are also pretty bad, and we've made it to Week 11. A lot of big upgrades for the boys. Love to see it. We're still running Giants playbooks all the way, though, so don't have to worry about that. Let's see. Focus player time. Focus player time. Who do we want to use these on? Do we want to use it on one of the quarterbacks? Probably. Probably one of the quarterbacks for sure. Probably even Deshaun. And then we'll use another one on who else? Somebody that we're going to be in the running to get probably. Like maybe a Carl Lawson in round 3 to 4. That could be a nice pickup. We know 100% of Hassan Reddick. That's beautiful. That's what I wanted to know. Matt Milano's a day 3. Zach Cunningham we know 95% of. Man, I don't really know where to spend these last 2 private workouts or focus players, whatever they are. Maybe we use one on Carl Lawson for sure. Let's use one on Carl Lawson. Let's use another one on maybe an offensive lineman? I'm not 100% sure. Like Deion Dawkins, we could learn a little bit more about him, or Taylor Moton. That might be a little bit better. I want to learn a little bit more about Taylor Moton. Let's do that. So those will be our 3 focus players for this Week 11 stretch. I'll simulate past Week 11. We have an 85 offense. I think that's simply because we're getting better development from our guys. So our guys are bumping it up. We got past our bye week. Bose is growing to a 78 overall. So is Eric Flowers up to a 92. Let's keep simulating past the Eagle week. We'll simulate past the Eagle week in week 14. We'll see where we are. We beat Washington. We beat Washington. That's very interesting. And now we have beaten the Eagles as well. We are 4-8. Very interesting. 2 wins that I did not expect us to have at this point. All right, that changes some things. So if we take a look at the playoff picture, the Bears are 0-12, then the Cowboys are 2-10. We currently sit at 4-8 with a bunch of other teams. Oh, this is tricky. This is very, very tricky. We play the 0-12 Bears right now. Do we give them their first win, or do we beat them to go 5-8? We are in a 3-game win streak, ladies and gentlemen. We are ruining our stock. So we are going to really hope that the Eagles fall or we trade the pick. They're 5-8. They have fallen. We've passed them. I might need to dump. We might need to dump our own pick, actually. Because right now, we're picking at pick number 9 and pick number 12. If we could dump the Eagles pick to the Cowboys for pick 2, that would probably be a little bit of a sneaky option. I'll give you Henry Hanowski because we're not going to bring him back, and I'll trade you Victor Cruz. Trade declined. They like that a lot. So what about if I throw in our 7th and 20? I'll keep the 7th in 2017. You never know when that could be used. I'll give you a 6 in 2019. And that has been declined. Okay. I'll bump it to a 5 in 2019. Trade decline. Okay. I will give you a 2018. I don't have a 2018 6. I will give you a 20. 19-7, and a 2018-7. Trade offer accepted. So Henry Hanowski, Victor Cruz, and a first this year, which was the Eagles' first rounder, a 5, a 7 in 2019, and a 7 in 2018 gets us pick number 2 in the draft, at least right now, from the Dallas Cowboys. Hopefully we don't regret that decision and the Cowboys start winning games. We weren't going to be able to get the Bears pick, the number 1 pick. It would have been too tough. But the Cowboys are winning ball games. Of course. We trade for their pick and they start winning games. Are we going to have to make any moves right now? The standings now look like the Rams have the best odds to get that pick. Great. Great. What are the picks looking like now? If we go to the trade screen, pick 2 and pick 8. Okay, so that's still pretty good. That's still pretty good. Let's keep simulating. Finish out the season. We do end up losing to the Browns by 1. And then the final game of the season against the Saints is a victory. So we miss out on the playoffs. We went 6-11. Not necessarily ideal, but it is what it is. The Bears went 0-17. Cowboys finished 4-13. We have their pick. This is interesting. This is very, very interesting. If we go to the trade screen, we sit with pick 4 and pick 7. So we have 2 top 10 picks in this draft. Okay. Hold on. I want to check the Cowboys pick because that was the Eagles pick. Where did they end up? Did we fumble? Or do the Cowboys have a worse pick? They have pick 6. So I guess the Eagles ended up being worse than I thought. Maybe I panicked a little too quickly and we screwed out of that, but we still have 2 top 10 picks. We can make some moves if we need to get up a little higher. That should put us in fairly decent contention for some good players. We got the Rookie of the Year. Who would that have been? It had to have been Joey Bosa or Jalen Ramsey, I guess. I don't think it would have been Tyreek Hill. It just came up on the screen. It's going to be Panthers. Oh, it's Joey Bosa. He got 3 skill points. Joey Bosa with 3 skill points. So Joey Bosa wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. He had to have. Speed rusher, he goes up to an 80. That's exactly what I wanted. And it doesn't look like he got himself superstar development because he doesn't have any abilities, I don't think. Oh, he does have abilities. He does have superstar development. Perfect. Perfect. We'll give him... I don't even know right now. He doesn't... Well, we won't switch. It doesn't matter until he gets the... Yeah, he won Defensive Rookie of the Year. Okay. It doesn't matter until he gets a higher overall. Those traits won't matter. Steelers and Panthers in the Super Bowl. I'm guessing the Steelers. They've got Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, and Le'Veon Bell. I wouldn't see why they lose. And they do win 30-23 over the Panthers, who, to be fair, have Cam Newton and all those boys. So that's a good matchup. It is Patrick Chung who's made his way to Pittsburgh. Okay, whatever. Ben Roethlisberger wins the MVP of the league and the Offensive Player of the Year. J.J. Watt wins Defensive Player of the Year. Michael Thomas on the Bucks is the Rookie of the Year on the offense, and then we got Joey Bosa as the Defensive Rookie of the Year. I will take that. That's a big one. I told you that I wanted either Ramsey or Bosa to win it, and we got Bosa too. So that's awesome. I will check the stats. I haven't forgotten about the regular season stats. Don't worry. I was just getting to the offseason first. We have mock draft number 3, which is going to be very crucial to take a look at. Well, let's take a look at these stats. How did we do in Season 2? Eli, 3,600 yards, 22 touchdowns, 6 picks. I mean, it's fine, I guess. It's average. Shane Vereen had 900 yards, 6 touchdowns. Odell had 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. Love to see it. Tyreek almost got 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. He's going to be number 2 receiver pretty soon, right next to Odell. And then defensively, Jonathan Casillas with another really good season. 118 tackles, 4 sacks. I don't think that's going to be good enough to take him from star to superstar, but I do like that season. That's a good season. Bradley McDougall had 111 tackles. Amukamara had 95. Kennard had 80. Phillips had 80. Bosa had 11.5. I can see why he won Defensive Rookie of the Year. 74 tackles, 14 for loss, and 11.5 sacks. That's pretty crazy. Hankins, I'm glad we re-signed him. 59 tackles, 16 for loss, and 3 sacks. Bosa led the team with 11.5 sacks. Kennard had 6.5. Odigizua had 4.5. Casillas had 4. Interception leader was DRC with 5. Holy crap. That's a lot of interceptions for one guy. I'll take it, though. I will take it, though. So those are the stats. We go to the off-season, re-sign players, but we don't need to re-sign any more players. So the number 1 overall pick as of right now is the Chicago Bears taking Myles Garrett. We have the 3rd pick taking Patrick Mahomes. And then we have the 8th pick taking Christian McCaffrey. Somehow we're going to have to get number 1, because I don't think Myles Garrett's going to fall. I highly doubt Myles Garrett's going to fall. So somehow we need to get Myles Garrett. I don't know how that's going to happen, but it needs to happen. And I don't think there's anybody else. No, we're just going to let everybody walk. It's going to be interesting to see who's in free agency, though. I have no idea what it's going to look like. I hope there's some pretty decent players, though. Signs of free agents. All right. So we got kickers, punters, fullbacks. Not great. Old Larry Fitzgerald, old Eric Weddle, old Drew Brees, old Robert Griffin III. Okay. So this is interesting. Running backs are not really that good. Receivers. Is there anybody like we found Willie Snead last season? And Victor Cruz didn't get re-signed by the Cowboys. Very interesting. But there's nobody that is on the level of Willie Snead. So we'll pass on that. Tight end. We might be able to pull George Kittle in the draft, so we won't sign a tight end. Offensive line, not really anybody that I want. I mean, maybe Valdell Alexander, but he's not. He's a 75 overall, and he's only normal development. Probably should pass on that. Nobody on the offensive line. Cedric Thornton's one of the top players in the class, and he's getting a lot of offers, but we don't want to be one of them. I don't think there's anybody here that I really want, to be honest with you. I'm not seeing it. I mean, maybe we could bring in Manti Te'o because he's 26 to have some linebacker depth. I do like Manti Te'o. I know he kind of gets a bad rap because of the whole fake girlfriend thing, but I did enjoy him at Notre Dame. We'll offer him a contract. We'll see what he says. We're battling with Washington for him. If we get him, we get him. Outside linebackers, no. Corners, Pac-Man maybe. He's 33. D. Milner. Is that really where we're at right now? Can we change the career of D. Milner? Maybe. It's probably a little bit too much for D, but we might be able to change his career. Oh, the Chiefs are giving him a bag. Okay, I might not be changing the career of D. Milner. They're giving him a massive contract. I'd be willing to offer him 6 and 5.5. If that's still not good enough, I'm going to keep it there. I doubt he accepts that offer. I'm not willing to pay him more than that, though. Not for D. Milner. Especially when we're not, like, absolutely desperate for corner. At least I don't think we are. Let me take a reevaluation of the team. So Tyreek's got star development. He's going to be our number 2 receiver. We need running back desperately. Odell's a true 98. Defense, Ramsey's an X factor. DRC's now superstar. Love to see that. We need linebacker. Our corners are not in a great spot, so maybe we do need to sign a corner. Probably not D. Milner, though, since he's getting a bag from the Chiefs. But it wouldn't hurt to get a corner. I'm just going to withdraw the offer there. We're not going to go for him. It's just a waste. But who do we want to sign? Byron Maxwell? Buster Screen! Josh Robinson? He's only 26. He's got decent speed, and he kind of wants to be here. 74 overall is not that bad. We'll offer him that contract. That could be helpful. And we need middle linebacker. And we're going for Manti Te'o. That's right. So our targeted are those 2 guys, and we got both of them. So we sign a role player at corner, a depth signing there, and then a starter at middle linebacker. All right, so Manti jumps in and starts at middle linebacker, and Robinson will fill in as the number 4 corner. Jalen Ramsey takes over as the number one corner over DRC, because DRC is regressing a little bit, it looks like. But I think that's going to be our free agency period. There's not really a whole lot that I want, and I don't want to waste my money on random signings that are going to not really do anything for us when it's not really our time to win. So, mock draft number 4. Yeah, I didn't think Myles Garrett was going to be moving. This is pretty much how it's going to look, I would guess. This is pretty much how the top 10 is going to look. There could be some movement down the board, as there usually is, but this is pretty much how the top 5 is going to look. It's going to be Garrett, Trubisky, Mahomes, Thomas, Adams, Fournette, all these guys. But we need to make a decision. How do we get everybody that we want? Do we want Patrick Mahomes? Is he the guy? Is he the future of this team? Because remember, we have the benefit of hindsight. There are quarterbacks later in classes that we could go for, like a Trevor Lawrence, like a Kyler Murray. Those kind of guys are going to be available. So we have the benefit of hindsight. We have to keep that in mind. Do we prioritize? And we already have Eli Manning still. It's not like we're in desperate need of a corner, because we have a guy that's functional. It's just a matter of when he's going to retire and when he's going to regress. Do we prioritize fixing everything around the quarterback and then grabbing one in a later draft? There's a lot of decisions to be made, and I'm not sure I'm the right guy to make these decisions. We do need a running back. I'm definitely going to bring a running back into the draft this year. Where we got to come away with one, whether it's Kamara, Kareem Hunt, Aaron Jones, whoever it may be. We have to come away with a running back. The final mock draft, yeah, it didn't move. It didn't move. Everybody's the same. So if we want Myles Garrett, we got to trade with the Bears. We got to trade with Chicago to get Myles Garrett. Pairing him alongside Joey Bosa would be amazing. We know 95% on Deshaun Watson. I want to know Aaron Jones. I want to know Cooper Kupp. And I want to know George Kittle. We're going to go all offense for the final private workouts. I want to know all those guys. And we will sim to the draft. But we won't jump into the draft just yet. We will sim to it. How good are those last guys that we looked at? We know that Aaron Jones is a 90% completion. He's a day 3 guy. He's got great athleticism. Looks pretty good. I'm targeting him or Alvin Kamara pretty much as my running back. Then Cooper Kupp. Not a great athlete, but a tremendous pure receiver. And then we know a lot about George Kittle. He's a day 3 guy. He's a great blocker. Yeah, he's going to be a great blocker. He's going to be obviously a great catcher. We know what we got in some of these guys. We just got to make our decision. We got to make our decision. I could trade up number 8 to number 1, but I'd have to give up a little bit more if I wanted to trade up from 8 to 1 instead of 3 to 1. 3 to 1, I wouldn't have to really trade that much. They might even just accept that straight up. But 8 to 1 is going to be a little bit of a tougher ask. So maybe I should have kept the Eagles pick. Nope, I didn't want to go to the standings. This is very interesting. What do we do here? How do we come away with everybody that we want? Chicago's got the number 1 pick in the draft. They want Odell. Yeah, they're asking for way too much. They are asking for way too much. So just straight up, moving up 7 spots. Yeah, that's difficult, man. We'd have to probably give up another first-round pick. I don't really want to do that. But if I can move up from 3 to 1, that's even... Oh, wow, they value the number 1 pick so much. They really want Myles Garrett. Obviously, I mean, it's Myles Garrett. Of course you would want him. But even number 3 doesn't even move that much. So maybe it's out of the question. Maybe it's out of the question to get Myles Garrett. And if that's the case, then do we think about trading down? Because we could still come away with Deshaun Watson. We can still come away with Deshaun Watson if we want it. Oh man, this is tricky. This is tricky. If I click this button right here, we skip the pick. Myles Garrett will go off the board. The Chargers will take Trubisky at 2. And then it's up to us. We have free range of everybody. Patrick Mahomes, Christian McCaffrey, whoever we want. Unless the Bears completely fumble the bag and don't take Myles Garrett here, that's the only thing we have to hope for, because we're not trading multiple first-round picks to get it. Number 1 is Myles Garrett. The Bears don't fumble. They take Myles Garrett, and then Trubisky goes 2. So even in this alternate timeline, Trubisky still gets drafted ahead of Patrick Mahomes, which is crazy to say out loud, but it is what happened. And now we have the pick of whatever we want. We can literally go in any direction here, including trading down. The question is, how bad do we want our quarterback? Because if we get Patrick Mahomes, we can be good right away. But do we want to be good right away, or do we want to ride a slow burn? Build up talent in a couple of drafts? Because we know, again, benefit of hindsight, we know 2018, 2019, 2020, there's some good players in those classes. So we can build up, accumulate some players, develop them, and then be good in 2021, 2022, 2023. Or do we want to be better right now? Do we want to be competitors right away? Get a guy like Patrick Mahomes. He's got Odell. He's got Tyreek Hill. Whoever else we get in this draft, he'd have all those guys. We could add a couple of defensive players as well. We could be good pretty soon. That's the big debate. I don't know what to do here. I don't know where to go. I think what we're gonna do, this may seem pretty crazy to say considering who we have an opportunity to draft. Oh man, I'm really starting to freak out a little bit here. I was gonna say this may be a trade down spot, considering Mahomes is on the board. It sounds unbelievably crazy to even consider trading down, but there's not that much that I like. We could get pick 10 from, what was that, the Packers or Jets? The Jets. But they don't give us another first round pick after that. The Niners would give us first 13, but I need, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this with 2 first round picks. I'm not wasting the 3rd overall pick not to get another first rounder. And it doesn't look like anybody's offering me, at least nobody that has a pick decently high in the draft. So I think that decision has been made. We're not going to trade down. But the decision still lies, do we grab Patrick Mahomes? I mean, he's unbelievable. He's Patrick Mahomes. We know what he is. It's just a matter of, is this the guy that we want on the team? I don't think that there is a way that we can pass on Mahomes. We have the opportunity to take him. I don't think we can pass on him. We are going to grab our franchise quarterback of the future. Patrick Mahomes is the number 3 overall pick to the New York Giants. I feel like that is the obvious answer, and I did not want to get grilled by you guys in the comments for passing up on Patrick Mahomes. We had the opportunity to take him, and we do take him. 97 throw power, great agility, great acceleration. Our franchise quarterback has been acquired. Now, when he gets to start, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Solomon Thomas goes 4 to the Rams. Jamal Adams goes to the Cardinals. Leonard Fournette to the Cowboys. O.J. Howard to the Saints. And now we are up again at pick number 8. This was the spot where they had us taking Christian McCaffrey. That is an intriguing choice, considering we need to come away with a running back. But is it the right choice for us? I do like Hassan Reddick. He's got amazing athleticism. He's a great coverage linebacker, and he's a great pass rushing linebacker. He's got it all. He's got it all. And crucially, he's ahead of TJ Watt, who is down the board. Man, why did I have to be put in responsibility of this? There's a lot of decisions to be made, and I'm not the right guy to make these decisions. We could come away with another franchise corner in Marshawn Lattimore. Pairing him alongside Jalen Ramsey, I mean, that's locked down. You don't get much better than that. But considering we already have Jalen Ramsey, maybe that's not the right move. I really like the Hassan Reddick pickup. I think that's the go-to. Yes, Christian McCaffrey's on the board, but there's a lot of good running backs in this class. Oh man, this is tough. This is tough. I'm gonna take Hassan Reddick. He's only normal development. That you could think that's a very big whiff. You could, I would agree 100% if you said that. I would understand. I think this is gonna be a sneaky value pick. Maybe not value pick because it's pick 8, but I think that's the right idea. Grabbing a linebacker, that basically means that if we don't get TJ Watt, we have our guy in Hassan Reddick. I know he's only normal development, but I feel like that was the right move to take. Jonathan Allen goes. McCaffrey ends up in Indianapolis. Ryan Ramchick. We have pick 8 in the second round. Gerard Davis, Malik Hooker, Reuben Foster to New England. I like that pickup. David Njoku to the Raiders. I would have considered David Njoku. Dalvin Cook to the Chiefs. Joe Mixon ends up in Cincinnati. Look at that. Taco and I think Cam Robinson went as well. There goes Marshawn to the Jags. I didn't think he'd fall to the second round, especially not pick 8 of the second round. Deshaun goes last pick of the first round to the Steelers. TJ Watt first pick of the second. So the Bears walk away with the guys that I wanted. The Bears have TJ Watt and Myles Garrett. Oh my God. The Bears just got terrifying. Wow. Chicago has walked away in this draft with Myles Garrett and TJ Watt. Be on the lookout for the Chicago Bears. They are going to be dangerous in a couple of seasons. We are now in the second round. There's some interesting things to take here because we obviously need offensive line. We really need offensive line. We need especially left guard. And we know that Taylor Moton's good, and we pretty much know that Deion Dawkins is going to be pretty good. But we also have the ability to take Alvin Kamara here. Alvin Kamara could be our franchise running back. But we know that in 2018, Saquon Barkley is available. Are we going to be in position to get Saquon Barkley? I don't know. I think this is a pickup of a guard. Is it going to be Deion Dawkins or is it going to be Taylor Moton? Deion looks pretty good, but we know a little bit more about Taylor Moton. He also looks fairly decent. I probably should have used one of my private workouts on Deion Dawkins. I think Deion's going to be the pickup. Another normal development player. Oh, I feel like I missed another one, man. Am I fumbling the bag because I didn't pick up? I feel like the Bears have had the greatest draft of all time. That's the one that I wanted to have. We make it to the third round. Cooper Kupp is still available. Man, I feel like I've screwed this draft up. Not coming away with Garrett or TJ Watt really hurts. This feels like a Cooper Kupp pick in the 3rd round. We're going to come away with Cooper Kupp. So we've got our 3rd receiver. We've got Odell. We've got Tyreek. And now we get Cooper. I like that pickup. At least he has hidden development, which is something. And then in the 4th round, if Kittle's on the board, we'll take George Kittle. I really hope I didn't miss him. He is on the board. Aaron Jones is a day 3 guy. I'm going to take George Kittle and hope Aaron Jones makes it. So now we're starting to pick up some value down the board. But I feel like I screwed up the first top of this draft. I really do. I really feel like I screwed it up. Aaron Jones is gone. Are we not going to be able to come away with a running back? All of our favorite running backs are gone. Man, do I feel like I screwed up. I think I'm going to come away with Grover Stewart here. We're going to grab him. Another normal development player, but we need defensive tackle depth. That should help us out. But I really feel like I screwed up this draft. Oh, that's tough. That's real tough. All right, how good is Shaq Griffin? He looks pretty solid. A-zone coverage, C-man coverage. We'll grab Shaq Griffin. That's another big pickup. We obviously need some corners. We only have DRC, Jalen Ramsey. So, and we got that Robinson guy we signed in the draft, or signed in free agency. So that's a nice pickup. And then into the 7th round, I'm pretty sure I signed my kicker to a long-term deal, but we should probably grab a kicker, shouldn't we? Especially when we got like a Young Wei Koo available. I'm going to grab Young Wei Koo. 91 kick power. It's fine. It's a 7th round pick, whatever. It doesn't matter. Man, I'm really upset. Really upset about that. Oh, I mean, to be fair, we came with Patrick Mahomes. I shouldn't be too upset. We have our guy. 77 overall Patrick Mahomes. 78 overall Hassan Reddick, 79 Deion Dawkins, 76 Kupp. I mean, we got high overall guys. A few of them just don't have development traits. Kittle's a 70. Stewart's going to take some time. 73 for Griffin. Young Wei Koo's a 59. Okay. Man, the Bears. Oh, God. The Bears came away with Garrett and TJ Watt. I know that I guarantee you they're both X Factor. I guarantee you they're both X Factor. Superstar X Factor for Miles. TJ, he might be Superstar, but I think he's X Factor. We might have to be fans of the... Oh, he's only Star. I could have sworn he was at least Superstar. We might have to be fans of the Chicago Bears. They also came with Taylor. They had my draft. This is who I wanted. I wanted all 3 of these guys. They had my draft. That's crazy. Best player in the class was obviously Myles Garrett. No, it was Ryan Ramczyk. I always forgot that he was high overall. Cam Robinson, 83. McCaffrey's an 83. Sean Harlow. There's Garrett. Deion Dawkins is highly rated. Oh, man, do I feel like we screwed that up. I shouldn't really feel that way because we have our franchise quarterback. We have a great pass rusher in Hassan Reddick. We have a great new addition at offensive line in Deion Dawkins. I really shouldn't be feeling like I screwed up. But somehow I feel like I did. I feel like I screwed up. And I can't shake that feeling. Deion will start at left guard for this season. I want Justin Pugh to start at right tackle. George Kittle will take a season to develop. Mahomes will sit behind Manning for season 1. And then on the defense, Hassan Reddick will start it at right outside linebacker. That's fine. We will have... I'll have Casillas come off the end. We'll sit him down on the defensive line. Bosa, DRC. I mean, I like the team. I like what we have. But man, not having Myles Garrett or TJ Watt really just makes me feel gross. Oh, okay. That's season 2 in the books. It was a weird one. It certainly was a weird one. Let me know down below in the comments if you think that I fumbled the bag in the draft or if you like what we came away with. I know that some of the guys don't have development traits, but that doesn't mean they can't develop. If Hassan Reddick has an amazing year, he certainly can go up to star easily. Any one of those guys, Deion Dawkins, if he has a good year, can go up to star. I know it's a little bit harder for offensive linemen, but we've got our franchise quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. I just physically could not pass on Patrick Mahomes. We had the spot to take him. I had to take him. So I hope I made the right decision. Let me know down below in the comments if you agree with me or if you don't agree with me. I have a feeling that some of you may not agree with me. I feel like I probably should have done a little bit different. But hey, that's it. That is what it is. We're changing history. So that's the whole point. But that is going to do it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed episode number 2. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.